Yo, so let's get right into it. It's been a few updates now. Shotguns have gotten a bit of love the last two updates. One just dropped recently, 1 or 2 days ago. A few more shotguns got some buffs, and it's pretty fun. If you like using shotguns in Warzone, this is the time to use them right now. This month, right before the next game drops, we got a lot of good viable choices. We're going to go over which ones are playable. I'm not going to cover the Jack 12. I've already made 2 videos on that. The 20 round setup and the Dragon's Breath setup. I'll leave the description down below. To me, that's the #1 shotgun right now. If you love shotguns, you want to use the best of the best, the Jack 12 is the best gun. But we're going to be covering the other ones that have come up with these last 2 updates, and they're actually pretty useful now. First one up to bat, Model 680. We're going to be running the Forged Tack Marauder to increase damage range and tighten that pellet spread. We're going to be running the Sport Barrel, also increases damage range and tightens the pellet spread. Gives you a pretty respectable 2-shot kill up to about 9 meters. We've got the 5mm laser so you can fire from the hip. We also got Dragon's Breath rounds, which increases your bullet velocity. Not that you need it for the max damage range, but it does help. Also gives you a bit of that burn damage. And then we have No Stock for better movement speed. It does hurt your hip fire just a tad, but Modern Warfare guns don't tend to have good movement, so we're going to be running that. Now I will say, out of all the guns that have been buffed up with the last recent updates, it's a good gun, but it has a lot of things holding it back. The rechambering of a round after each shot takes a little bit. The gun doesn't have great movement. Even with No Stock, Modern Warfare guns tend to have a bit slower movement. Also, if you miss a follow-up shot, it can cost you. But it does have a 2-shot kill. It has good range. It has good ammo capacity. If you want to challenge yourself and you want to mix it up and use different shotguns, this is a good choice.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Next up, we got the Street Sweeper. First thing we're using is the flash cone. The reason we're using the flash cone and not the agency suppressor is the agency suppressor hurts your hipfire spread. The flash cone gives you slightly better hipfire strafing spread, and it keeps you off the minimap. Next thing we're using is the reinforced heavy for better damage range and better fire rate. Then we have the Ember sighting point for better hipfire spread, better damage range. We got the 18 round mag because it's a full auto gun. You want as many rounds coming out of the tube. And then we got wire stock for better sprint fire. You can run No Stock, but this will hurt your hip fire spread, and it's a shotgun. You're going to tend to hip fire. So I wouldn't recommend that. I would go with the wire stock. It has good mobility. It has no visual hip fire recoil. It has a fast fire rate. It's a 4-shot kill at its max damage range. It's a good gun. But I don't want to use it. I hate using it because of the reload. Look at this shit right here. It's still going. That shit is crazy. Almost 16 seconds of reloading. For that one reason, I will never use this gun. This guy right here, this guy was a real piece of shit. I was trying to get clips with the Street Sweeper to do this video, and this guy was saying some really obnoxious shit. I'm not one for trolling people or being super toxic in Call of Duty. I'm very against that, but this motherfucker, fuck this guy.
Ow! You're a fucking pussy. You fucking pussy. Yeah, you gotta spray me when I'm in the air, you.
Hostile dropping into the area. Enemy UAV active.
You're a fucking noob.
Sorry, I got carried away. Back on track now. But it is viable. It is full auto. Has good hip fire. Has good fire rate and good mobility. I'm not going to use it, but if you want to mix it up, you don't always want to run the Jack 12, you got this. Next up, we got the Gallow. Now, let me tell you, this is a bad boy. This one's really good. With the most recent buff, it now has a 3-shot kill again. I don't know if anybody remembers how oppressive that previous meta was, but this is a really good choice. Very good. Probably the next best choice next to the Jack 12. It hits hard. It has good mobility. The reload isn't terribly slow. For attachments, we're going to be running essentially the same things we ran on the Street Sweeper. Flash cone, reinforced heavy, highest round mag, 5mm laser, wire stock. Very good gun.
Enemy UAV active. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
This brings me to the last one, probably my favorite out of all the recent shotguns I got a buff, the 410 Ironhide. I know, 410 Ironhide, that gun's a piece of shit. It's not anymore, trust me. It has a really respectable 2-shot kill range. It has great mobility. The rechambering, when you fire around and you rechamber the next one, doesn't take terribly long. The reload is not the fastest, but it's pretty good. And it's just overall a very, very good gun. I will say this, if you plan on using it, you need to have somewhat decent movement. You need to be able to finesse, because you need to fire the shot, rack the next round, fire the next shot. But if you can land both your shots, it's a 2-shot down. It's a great freaking gun, and you move pretty fast. Since it's a Cold War gun, it's essentially the same attachments except for one. And instead of wire stock, because this gun doesn't have that, we're going to be running no stock.
Enemy soldier nearby.
Tiene una escopeta.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Aquí hay uno. Me están limpiando, cabrón.
Dropping into the AO.
Está roto aquí arriba, Mosi.
Hostile dropping into
Te
the
partiste
area.
los pies. No te
Sí,
mueres,
cabrón.
no vas a morir. Yo no muérete porque
Viene por ahí, viene por ahí, viene por ahí.
Muérete porque no vas a tener placa, cabrón. Para que te voy a seguir.
Ese cabrón se mueve bien, ese cabrón.
Sí, bueno,
Enemy precision airstrike.
ese es el mismo cabrón, ese de ahorita. Ahí mismito, sí.
You are
Ya está. Estás vibrando. ¿Dónde estás?
Y lo marqué, da por la escalera, por la escalera. Donde yo te reviví, está esa escalera de frente.
Se desmarca bien rápido,
fucking fag.
Ya lo papi, vibrando le explotó.
Oh my-
¿Por qué no muere? Está roto, loco. Yo no estaba roto. Yo no estaba roto, cabrón. Está echando ese cabrón.
Brandon lo está rezando él.
Tacho, ya lo partió. Carlos, cabrón, ni siquiera me metí en la pelea, los dejé pelear.
An honorable mention I will say now, the combat shotgun with buck and slug, if you manage to land the headshot, can potentially get a 1-shot down. I found it to be a little bit inconsistent. I don't recommend it, but it is another option. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was informational. If you like shotguns, you got options now, which is pretty cool. Yeah, deuces.